Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Gerard Pratt, and joining us today from the Australian Army is the Regimental Sergeant Major Ceremonial of the Australian Defence Force, Warrant Officer Brian Moore. We warmly welcome the family of Private James Baker, whose story will be told shortly. We are honoured to acknowledge Her Excellency Mrs. Menna Rawlings, High Commissioner of the United Kingdom to Australia, and her accompanying delegation. This is the final occasion that we will have the pleasure of Her Excellency's presence here at the Australian War Memorial in her capacity as High Commissioner. Your Excellency, we would like to take this time to thank you for your support of the memorial and its staff, and we are particularly humbled to have shared the experience of the centenary of Anzac with you. We wish you all the very best in your future endeavours, and we hope to see you here at the Australian War Memorial soon. We're also honoured to welcome Mr. Hugo Fernandez, Executive Director, National Centre of Chega, Timor-Leste, and the accompanying delegation. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Associations, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony from across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by family and visitors. I invite you now to all please stand and join in singing the British and Australian national anthems. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through until the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where family and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private James Baker. James Baker was born on the 21st of April, 1882 at Bunya, Queensland, to Peter and Mary Baker. He grew up around Strathpine and attended Warmer State School. After leaving school, he worked as a farmer. Following the outbreak of the First World War, Baker enlisted on the 21st of July 1916 in Brisbane. He completed his training at the end of August and was allotted to the reinforcements to the 26th Battalion. Baker embarked with other reinforcements from Brisbane on the 21st of October aboard the transport ship Boona, bound for England. After disembarking at Plymouth in mid-January 1917, he was sent to Ralston Camp. A little over a week later, he went absent without leave for a day, for which he was fined 3 days' pay. In April, he was admitted to hospital, seriously ill with bronchial pneumonia. He took some time to recover, and it was not until later in May that he was discharged from hospital. Baker was sent to France in mid-June, and after several weeks at Le Havre, he joined the 26th Battalion at Bapaume in early July. In August, the battalion moved to Belgium in preparation for the Third Battle of Ypres. Baker saw his first major actions in September and October at Menin Road and Broodcinder Ridge. After a relatively quiet winter, the German army launched its spring offensive in late March 1918. The 26th Battalion was rushed to the south of the Somme, where it helped to halt the German drive towards Amiens. In June and July, the battalion was involved in several peaceful penetration operations, first at Moulincourt and later at Monument Wood. During the latter operation, the battalion was credited with the capture of the German A7V tank Mesfito, which later went on display here at the Australian War Memorial. On the 8th of August, the start of the Allied offensive, the 26th Battalion led the 7th Brigade advance near Villebretonneau. During the day, Baker received a gunshot wound to the left side of his chest and was evacuated to a nearby casualty clearing station where he underwent surgery. He recovered well, and by the end of the month, he had been sent to the Australian Infantry Base Details Depot at Etaples. Baker rejoined his battalion in early September. On the 3rd of October, the 26th Battalion was involved capturing Lomset as part of the wider operations to breach the Beaurevoir line. During the fighting, the battalion suffered 123 casualties, including 21 men killed, one of whom was Baker. Tragically, this was the last operation of the war conducted by the 26th Battalion. Baker's body was recovered and laid to rest at Beaurevoir Communal Cemetery, British Extension. He was 36 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. A photograph of his headstone is displayed today by the Pool of Reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private James Baker, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres, or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor tired senses belly working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will remember this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you all for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.